wanting something you can't have already says that you're having self-doubts. Okay? Because why can't you have that? Why is he on a pedestal already? Right?
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And that all comes down to confidence and self-esteem.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Gin and Toxic. We're in a different location.
Yeah, where are we?
We're in a random studio in Midtown, people.
Yeah.
Listen, we actually have a really great episode for you today. We just wrapped up recording with
I just pulled a piece of hair out of my mouth. I'm really sorry to anyone that saw that.
Anyways, it's okay, Queen, do your thing. But we just wrapped up recording a really great episode with Andrea, which is my life coach. You guys know I've talked about her before on the show. And yeah, she literally just left. That is the show. Yeah, she slayed.
She slayed.
And so yeah, she was awesome, and you guys are gonna hear that in like 2 seconds, obviously. But yeah, so now we're going a little bit reverse. We recorded the episode first,
this is
and
so
now
weird.
we're doing the intro and
We've
outro.
never done this. Like,
No.
we already recorded the...
Yeah. Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
the reason we're in this studio was because we had a guest, and because it's my
We're
life
not going
coach.
to
we're
make
not gonna
Andrea
get
sit in
cuddly
your
with us in
bed.
bed.
Like, no, this is Queen Andrea. You guys will see. She's going to fix all your fucking problems.
Yeah, you're gonna. It literally incredible.
solved mine,
episode.
babe. I'll tell you
yeah,
that.
but anyways, listen. Despite an episode with my life coach, we still have our toxic things of the week.
Of course.
There are some things that go
I already
unsolved.
forgot mine. I remember.
All right, go.
Well, guys,
Go,
good news.
go,
I'm not
go,
hungover
go.
today.
Woohoo!
Are you
yeah,
proud of
Lily?
me?
This is like the first episode in
3 weeks.
yeah.
I am drinking tonight, but that is besides the point.
But I am too.
But so
it's
is
okay.
Christina. She's enabling. It's not my fault. Okay, so
yes, the sun is coming back.
Oh,
Anyways,
my
go on.
toxic thing of the week is that my new personality trait is that like Christina's my girlfriend, right? Okay, so like I know we hate each other. I know we hate each other, but we also love each other very much. So I got
Kind
my
of.
locks. Can they see? Do you think if I go like this?
Maybe.
Whatever. My lock screen is a picture of me and Christina
Yeah, and for the listeners, it
being
is-
very G&T.
Yeah, being very G&T. It's one of our G&T photo shoots.
But then last week we got a little blacky, little
listen,
blackout moment
like-
in the photo booth.
like
Look.
when the girls
get drunk,
when the girls get drunk, you want to kiss the homie.
you want to kiss?
You want to kiss the homie.
You want to kiss a little? I just want to kiss a
You
little.
just want a little kiss.
I just need a little kiss goodnight, mommy.
Right. Always kiss your homies goodnight.
So my home screen is me and Christina kissing, and it was the first time we kissed. To be honest, I've kissed a lot of my friends. I hadn't kissed Christina
we
yet.
don't
I
even
was
hug.
putting it off. We don't touch. We don't hug.
We don't. Nope.
I avoid eye contact if I can. You know what I mean?
Only when I'm held against my will.
I feel like some people like get our dynamic, and then some people are probably like, "What?"
Did you see? Oh no, I think I sent it you through TikTok DMs, and it was that what's it called from the Backstreet? Or is it Backstreet? Yes, the Backstreet Boys song, and it's like, "Am I original? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Am I
yeah.
sexual?
Yeah.
And it's like, are you guys best friends? And it's like, yeah. And it's like, do you guys spend every living second together? Yeah. And it's like, have you guys ever hugged? And it's just
No.
dead silence. Yeah,
That's our
literally us.
dynamic. But yet, still, here she is. We are kissing on my home screen of my phone. So that's my toxic thing of the week. I guess, like, if anyone looked at my phone. Well, I texted her at work the other day, and I go, Jesus Christ, if anyone looked at my phone right now.
They would think that we're dating.
Like, if I was just, like, showing my coworker, like, oh, yeah, I got to show you something really quick.
And then they'd be like,
unlocked my phone, they would be like, oh, I thought you.
See, but to that,
Wait.
you, like I told you, like you just tell them, like, you always kiss your homies goodnight. Do you not kiss your homies goodnight?
Kiss them goodnight.
Always kiss your homie. Give
Don't
them a-
question it. Also, guys, this is the unofficial Gin and Toxic merch. No, not
Literally,
really.
the sweater's
They're gonna be
giving
like, oh
G&T.
my god, no way. This is
Lily looks fucking cute today. I am in my Uggs my mini Uggs that have fuel oil on them. Plain fuel.
not the plain fuel.
Fuel oil. Plain
It's
fuel
kind of rich
on
of you
them.
though, because it was like a jet. So
It was a private jet.
No.
Because I was rescuing puppies.
okay, well, purr. Okay, but like actually, quick backstory though. My coworker at this new job, what are the fucking odds? His roommate is from Rochester, New York, and I
Period.
don't know. That's where I'm from. Like it's
Love it
not
already.
like it's like a small place to be from. It was really weird.
Yeah.
So he has this clothing brand, and I'm like, oh sure, like let me see the clothing brand. Why not?
Yeah.
He pulls it up. The first thing I see is a black and pink
Black
sweater.
and pink sweater.
I said, consider it.
Yeah.
Mine.
I told Lily
She's gonna
will
buy
be
it.
purchasing the same sweater ASAP.
His Instagram is at Fields of Land. Follow and purchase this sweater if you're a true G&T stan. Because we don't have merch yet. We will, but we don't have merch yet. So if you need merch in the meantime, get this.
Go support a friend.
Yeah, period. And toxic thing of the week.
What was my toxic thing of the week? Oh yeah, so okay, well, number one,
She was crazy.
Yeah. So may I say, number one, in the last episode that we did, Lily was having her predictions about my quote unquote dick appointment - date. I was like, it's a date. She's like, it's a dick appointment with a steak. We're going back and forth. And I was like, you know what? If it ends in a happy ending, it ends in a happy ending. And
We all knew exactly where it was going to end.
I'm here to confirm it did.
She's a slut. Like,
She's a slut. Do you not think it would happen?
yeah, like what do you think? You're going to go over and cuddle and watch a movie?
Bitch,
What do you
I
think
don't
was
know.
going to happen? He's making you a steak dinner. Wait, did he make you the steak dinner that night? Oh, no,
Yeah.
Saturday night you guys went out. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, no, Saturday. But we did the deed Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Per.
It was great. Anyways, just need to let you guys know that's not my toxic confession though. Although I guess it could be considered one. My other toxic confession. I don't know how to put this
You're crazy.
into words. I'm basically insane. And
There is a man
Once
that
again-
we have mentioned, but we will not repeat.
no, well, we could say the nickname once again.
Oh,
guys,
okay,
listen, just
fuck.
guys.
Mr. St. Pete. What fucking hold does he have on us? Once again,
Guys,
we met this man for 2 hours.
Mr.
Over a
St.
year ago.
Pete, I
It's actually
hate
like
it.
exactly a year ago.
I fucking hate it. Okay, guys, we have not spoken in a few weeks because the last time we spoke, I was maybe gonna visit him, and then it didn't happen, and I got frustrated, and we didn't talk. Oh my god, the inside of me was like, you gotta talk to him. You gotta talk to him. So I hit him up. We spoke, and it's great. And I guess my toxic thing of the week is that
Can you guys
once
tell
again,
she's down bad? Down bad.
I'm having
Scared.
Guys, I'm having fun right now. I have no strings attached with anybody in my life.
Well, he doesn't even live in New York, so even
No,
if
he doesn't. But I don't understand
why we keep like it keeps coming back.
I don't understand why he has this hold on me. It makes no sense. Like
It's
he's
'cause
literally
they
a
haven't,
tall
like-
white man.
You haven't like hung
That's
out.
embarrassing.
No, not the white man.
The tall white man has a chokehold on me. No, not that. We can't do this.
No, I think it's the what if, like, you know, when we do finally hang out alone, are we gonna hit it off? Because if you do hit it
Yeah.
off, you're gonna hit it off like nothing before, because we know how much we love him and how funny
this is
he
going to
is.
be highly embarrassing if he listens to this episode. I
I
doubt he will.
I doubt he will.
Doubt he will, but you know what?
Fuck it, you're shooting your shot.
I am. Consider this
Via
the
GNT.
shot. Consider
Hey,
this,
Mr. St. Pete.
What am I saying? Consider this shot. Shot.
Consider me shooting the shot.
Consider this as
The
me
shot
shooting.
has been shooted.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What's like the verb?
The shot has
What's
been shot.
The shot has been shot.
I have shooted
I
my
shot
shot.
the shot.
Okay,
Consider
done.
this my shot
Done.
being shooted.
Okay, into the tarot card.
Okay, yeah, back to other news. Listen. Because of my frustration in love, and you guys know I'm a spiritual bitch.
And me spiraling.
I do, as you guys know, I do study tarot. I have for a very long time now. You can literally hear Lily opening up her fucking envelope right now. But don't take them out yet. Don't look at your cards. I'm like,
bitch.
you gotta meditate with it in the envelope. So just leave it right there. I'm gonna walk you through it. So, but basically, background. Because I'm a spiritual bitch, you
Not
guys
the
know
tarot
I study
card reader.
tarots.
Not Christina being a tarot card bitch. It makes everything better.
It makes so much sense for me.
Not the crystals.
It started with crystals, and then it went into tarot, and then it went to my spiritual awakening,
Spiraling.
and now
Not the
I
spiritual-
do tarot. The spiritual awakening. She happened in 2020.
I'm allowed
was
to
going
laugh
through
at
a
her.
lot.
It's okay, okay?
Oh no, it's okay. I mean, obviously, you guys know I spiraled at one point. I spent like $4,000 in online psychics. That was one
Go
of my
back to
bad
episode
period.
1 of Gin and
Literally,
Toxic if you need
our
that.
first ever episode is discussing that. But anyways,
$4,000.
sometimes like I use tarot for like my own guidance, but sometimes I
Lily,
just like
Lily needs it too.
yeah, sometimes Lily needs it too. And I have gotten these before, as you can see, show on that pack.
It says
You
the
guys
gift of
It says the gift of tarot. No, basically the gift of tarot is it's only 3 tarot
3
cards.
special
and-
tarot cards to give yourself or to share with friends.
Yes. And basically so I trust in these because my local spiritual shop sells them. And I know the owner there and he's fabulous and he's what?
Is it like on 23rd or something?
No, it's on. I know the one you're talking about. I don't like that one. It's called Scintillate. It's in Hell's Kitchen. It's
Okay.
on 46th between 9th and 8th. But anyways, I trust in that shop. I trust in the owners. It's you got to be careful when you go to crystal shops and spiritual shops because you want to make sure they are authentic and they're run by people that are like spiritually authentic
Believers,
people.
yeah.
Believers. So I really like the shop and I totally advocate for them. So if you guys are in New York City and you want to get crystals or anything, Scintillate in Hell's Kitchen. Now, I've gotten these before, but like I said, is basically 3 tarot cards, and it's kind of like luck and kind of not luck, but it's basically like trusting in what the universe has given you. So you need to trust that when you're picking up a gift of tarot, you're only getting 3 tarot cards. You got to trust that the envelope that you get are the 3 cards that are meant for you. So basically, as you guys can see, I already have my cards open because the other day I was like just drawn to go into the crystal shop because I haven't, spiritual shop. I haven't been in there for a while. And I literally went in there with like the mindset of like, I need to buy the gift of tarot. And it was like, this is going to sound so fucking weird, but I went in and I went to go get one for myself because I was so like frustrated. I was like, I need one of these. I feel like it's going to give me guidance, whatever. And I walk in and I pick it up and the pack behind it was a hot pink pack. And the first thing that came to my mind is that Lily also needs
It's
the gift
giving
of tarot.
Lily.
It's giving Lily. So basically...
She loves pink.
Yeah, so before we get into, or should we do yours first, or should we just...
No, you already have yours out.
Yeah, so I already have mine out because I already did it. I just gave Lily her pack this morning. But basically, my cards that I got yesterday, basically what you're supposed to do is you hold the envelope in between your 2 hands, you like kind of meditate on what you want answered, and then you take the cards out upside down, and then you flip them in whatever order they're in. You have the first card is your past, second card present, third card future, whatever. And so this kind of gave me guidance because with my little crush that I have, I didn't really know what to do. And I was like, Lord, give me some guidance. Universe, give me guidance. What do I do about this crush? Do I shoot the shot or do I not shoot the shot? And I literally got like the clearest answer I could have ever fucking got. So my first card was the Fool, which says, don't let worry hold you back. It's time to take that leap into the unknown. Let your innocence be your guide. And it says you're taking a chance at something new. And then it has the 8 of Wands. And it says, now is the time to make your move. All of the elements come together. Put your ideas into actions. This card assures you that everything will be successfully resolved. And then my outcome card was the fucking 4 of Wands, which before I even read, because they give you like a little brief on here, because these you give to people whether they know tarot or they don't know tarot. Being somebody that actually knows tarot, as I'm getting these cards, I saw the 8 of Wands and I was like, no fucking way, because the 8 of Wands is an action card. But then I see the 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands is usually the card of like reunion, like getting together. So this literally says actions you have taken paid off. Others have noticed your work at putting things together. It's a perfect time to like plan things. No need to keep driving forward just now. Take the time to congratulate yourself. And this is the future card. So that's why I was like, I opened it up and I was like,
I'm excited now.
it was weird. So basically, okay,
Should
so
I
we're going to
say
do
like my
Lily's.
can I tell them my intention? Or
Yeah,
is it-
so what you're going to do is put the mic down here, basically. So I will hold the mic for you so you can say your intention while you're doing it, so you have both hands. So yeah, you're going to put, I'm just going to give you my mic. just put your mic in between your thing. Basically, you're going to put the cards in between your hands, yeah, like that, and close your eyes and think about what you want to answer to your intention and tell the good people of Gin and Toxic.
Okay. As you will probably hear hints in this episode, I'm going through it. A lot of changes this year, and I am curious to know about the next chapter and like what all these changes that right now are painful, like what good they will bring me.
Period.
They're over.
Okay. So now you're going to take the cards out, but make sure when you take them out, they're flipped
One
upside
at a time
down.
or all of them?
No, all of them. Yeah, they're flipped. shuffle them a little bit. Close your eyes and shuffle them. Okay. Until it feels good, and then you're going to lay it out 1, 2, 3 upside down. Yeah. Okay. So this card so this card is going to be your past. So you can flip that over. That's your past. So you can read it.
Okay. It says Page of Cups.
Page of Cups.
Open your heart up to the
Emotions.
beauty and magic of the world. Romantic daydreams can be indulged. Someone may surprise you with a declaration of adoration. I didn't want to say that.
Adoration, yeah.
Wander your own inner landscape. Dream a little dream today. Tell someone how much they mean to you. Let your heart lead the way. What would that mean, like past-wise, though?
So it might mean either that you already opened yourself up in the past, or that, I mean, also you got to think, like, your past doesn't literally have to mean like what's happened over the past few years. It can mean that, but it also can mean something that literally happened 2 days ago. Yeah. 2-3 days ago, like whatever you want to do.
I mean,
it'll make it more clear to you.
It's not
when
far
you go.
off.
I know it. I know.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
period.
I see you. You see me.
Yeah.
But it'll make more sense when you do the rest of them too. Okay. Second card is your current.
I mean, romantic daydream. Anyways.
Yeah.
The Hermit.
Ooh. Okay.
This is present, right?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
What does it say?
I'm seeing the word retreat, and I'm thinking about the fact that I'm staying at your apartment in May. Anyway, the Hermit. Never hesitate to take time for yourself. A call for a needed retreat must be answered. Explore your physical world. If you can't wander into a deep green wild wood, look for a park or even out your window. Take time to engage with your inner self. Put everything else on pause so you can recharge.
Yeah, so the Hermit is like about looking within oneself, basically.
Which is, when Christina's leaving for the month of May, she's going to Europe, and I'm living at her apartment because I need to be by myself for a while. And like that's literally in like 2 weeks. So that's crazy. Okay.
The drama. And now your future.
6 of Cups.
Okay.
Old friends bring you happiness today. That's already weird because did I tell you Kyle sent me a 10-minute voice memo this morning?
No,
and
but
just like I talked to all my old friends yesterday. Anyway.
Really? Okay, I was thinking of something else, but I'll talk to you after about it.
Revisit those places that bring back happy memories and times together. What were you? Recapture the simple joys you discovered in your childhood. The energy now is geared towards pleasant time and fond friends. Make time today to remind someone why they're in your life. I mean, maybe this means like going back to people that used to be in my life.
It could also just
which I've been doing the past 48 hours is reaching out to everyone.
Yeah, you could also interpret it as going back to like not childish ways, but like finding your like inner child and like your roots, going back to your roots. Yeah, so I mean all these together, I think so your cards are kind of I mean, here's the thing. Obviously, there are some things that we keep to ourselves on the show that we will talk to you guys about eventually. Yeah. But if you know Lily's situation right now, it kind of makes sense.
I'm sure everyone can take a lucky fucking guess.
Yeah, take a lucky fucking guess, people. The Page of Cups, though, is a very emotional card, and all that stuff. I think that has to do with your love life. The Hermit makes so much sense for your present.
Wild.
Because it's kind of like a calling to like go, just to go like within yourself and like really do like some self-work on the inside. And then 6 of Cups, you are connecting with like people from your past.
Also, like how weird the fact that I've just met these people that live in Brooklyn that are from Rochester.
Yeah.
Just like, and like I could see myself having like a new group of friends within them. But also the past 48 hours, yesterday I sent like 12-minute voice memos to 4 of my friends from Rochester, catching them up on some things that have happened to me recently, and like reconnecting with them was like really, really nice. And like I see myself kind of going back to my roots this year, like sticking with like you, Jeff, and like my real friends, and then connecting with old friends again, and then like I don't know. Just I think going back to things.
No, I think these two together especially make a lot of sense, the Hermit and the 6 of Cups, because it's kind of like you're doing like your inner work and you're going like within you and everything. But it's almost as if you're going within yourself to heal yourself and like heal your like the things you missed out on.
Yeah.
Your like inner child, and like figure out like you're going within going within yourself to like bring back your like happy giddy, like find out who was this bitch.
Yeah.
Bring her back.
That was deep.
Yeah. So now, obviously,
I'm gonna keep them.
yeah,
obviously.
I was gonna say definitely I would keep them.
I'm gonna keep them in my wallet.
Yeah.
Okay, that was tea.
That was the drama. We don't want to. I think we should probably wrap up this particular intro because we don't want to take too long. We just recorded a long time with Andrea, but that was our little tarot break, and now let's. That
was cool. That was something different for G&T.
That was very different.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Wait, what were we gonna say?
I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode.
Yeah.
We're still in the intro, babe.
I hope you enjoyed. Andrea.
Oh, I thought you said, I hope you enjoyed.
Oh, no, I hope you enjoy it.
I was like, when did you make that transition? Because I was not following.
And the outro.
Yeah.
Cue the outro.
All right, well, anyways, enjoy, Andrea. Okay, bye. All right, guys, so today, as you guys probably saw from the title, we are talking about Lily's laughing at me.
I'm excited.
I know, this is a very exciting episode. We are talking all about, like, anxiety within relationships, and we thought, who better to have on the show than the one and only Andrea Gross, who is my life coach, guys.
Who we have talked about so many times.
We've talked about you so much. We're so excited to have you on, obviously. So welcome to Juna Toxic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So as you guys know, if you've been listening to the if you've been listening to the show for a while now, Andrea is my life coach. We started working together in 2020 when I was going through like a really bad breakup, which we also talked about on this show many times. But we'll get into that in a sec. But basically, we're going to just kind of hop into your background, what you do as a life coach, how you got into it.
What is a life coach?
Yeah,
a lot of people aren't familiar with it.
So many people, maybe that's what we should start with, because a lot of people are just now warming up to like the life coach world, I guess, because a lot of people are like, isn't it just a therapist? Like, so what would you say is like the difference between life coaching and therapy, and then kind of
how
give your
you
background
got into it,
how you got into that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say the main difference between therapy and coaching is, in therapy, you're kind of like talking about your problems every week and figuring out where it comes from and trying to resolve them. With coaching, I always get a general background, usually like the first session with my clients. But after that, once I have a general background, I'm going to help you move forward.
Yeah.
Because to me, therapy is great for some people, but from what I see and the way my clients make progress is because they're not focusing on the problems anymore. Mm-hmm. They're focusing on what they want.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you have to do different things and think differently. Like I have a lot of tools like helping people change their mindset. And every week when you're talking about, what you want instead of what's wrong
in your past,
you're putting it out there and things start to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the things you told me like originally when we started working together that I've told like everybody about life coaching is that so therapy is more so focusing on the past and the present, and life coaching is more about the present and building your future.
Exactly.
So it seems, when you put it that way too,
that's how I describe it.
I was going to say, it seems way more productive. Yeah. So, and also, by the way, guys, obviously this is my life coach, Lily. Also, I got her on the life coach bandwagon. So she has a life coach also. Unfortunately, her life coach has a injured knee right now.
Yeah.
So
I need you back. Thank you.
Come back, please. But it's okay because we have Andrea here. But yeah, so how did you get into life coaching, and why did you want to become a life coach? What's the background there?
Okay, so when I was going through a hard time in my life, and I was going to a therapist, and I remember this was a long time ago, and life coaching was like not heard of on the East Coast, but I heard of it, and it was big on the West Coast. So I remember I left my therapist's office for the last time and said, I need to find something different because this is not helping. Talking about your problems also keeps you stuck.
Yeah.
You're stuck in that place, and I wanted someone to help me move forward. So I Googled life coach, and I found this guy who was a business coach.
Okay.
Not even like a quote life coach. And I started working with him, and I fell in love with the process, and he told me to get certified and do this, and I was a little messed up at the time. So I was like, I don't think I can do it, but I made such great progress with him that I decided that I wanted to do this for other people.
Okay. And then you just, from there, you got certified.
From there, well, I got certified, and then I wrote a book, which wasn't supposed to be a book. It was a journal I was keeping, and I was reading it to a friend one night, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's so funny! You should publish this." And to me, it wasn't funny at the time because I was going like
you were going through it. Yeah,
I was
crying.
I was in a bad place, and I just realized that my stories could also help people.
Yeah.
So a lot of coaching is like, a lot of people will come to me now and say, "Can you train me, or can you teach me how to do it?" And I always recommend that people get certified because it's important, but most of coaching is experience.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm also a mother of 3 kids, so I have a lot of experience with family and relationships.
Life in general.
Life, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. You have a lot of experience with life.
Right.
I mean, I feel like that's with like so many things in life is honestly, it's more about like your experience that matters too. I mean, obviously all the things that you taught me, we were just discussing this before we started recording, when we were kind of going over the episode and everything, that Lily was bringing up or we were going around in circles. You were bringing up things that you taught me, and Lily's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds so familiar that you're saying that because Christina taught me that." Right. So it's like a chain reaction of it's learning and experience.
Right.
And, yeah, exactly.
You're passing it on.
Exactly. You pass the knowledge on and you learn, and that's life.
Trust me, you all need Andrea's wisdom.
Yeah,
you do.
I've said a lot of things that you have taught me on this show already.
Put it on the shelf.
Yeah, I talked about the shelf. Right, I talked about the shelf method before, which we'll touch on that again today. What else? I don't even know. I've talked about just so many things. Yeah. Obviously, we were talking about before, being empowered, staying in your energy, all of those things. So I guess now we could get into how I found Andrea. So as you guys know, no secret that back in March 2020, when the world was ending, my relationship was also ending, my 4-year relationship. And, I've talked about it on the show before about how that relationship was just absolutely crazy because the guy was famous, and it was imagine walking the street and seeing your ex-boyfriend's face on a billboard. It wasn't the most ideal situation for me.
Not in the
also
slightest.
being locked up in my parents' place because of COVID, it was a mess. So it's funny that you said that life coaching was not a big thing on the East Coast, and that it was on the West Coast, because that's how I found out about it, was through one of my West Coast friends who has had a life coach for 3-4 years. And I didn't even know that life coaching was a thing that you could be a part of or be one.
It sounds like something that only celebrities would be doing, or
right.
It doesn't sound like the most accessible.
Yeah, no, I would imagine. Yeah, it used to be, but now it's becoming more. I mean, I think as there's more discussions opening up over time, and I mean, mental health is huge now, and more people are more, they want to get help,
willing to work on themselves.
Yeah, willing to work on themselves.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how, when life coaching kind of came into play more. But anyways, one of my West Coast friends, one of my YouTube friends, when I was going through that breakup, I was like, you know what? I need either a life coach or I need a therapist, one or the other. But to be completely transparent and honest, I don't really have anything from my past. I don't have childhood trauma or any of that. It was just I was going through this really bad breakup, and it felt like my life was kind of falling apart in that
you need
moment.
You needed someone to help you move forward.
Exactly. And with the career that we're in and everything, it's our futures are important in moving forward and making sure that we're part of the next thing. So I started a month after that breakup is when I started doing my research on life coaches and therapists and everything. And then that's when I kind of deemed that I need a life coach. And I literally, all I did was I went onto Google, I typed in New York City based life coaches, and a bunch of them came up, and I came across your website, and Andrea Lifestyle Coach Plus. Yes. I was I remember it.
Right.
But, I came across your website, and you looked great, and you gave this very comforting energy on your website, and then also testimonials and everything. And I mean, to be totally honest, I didn't even know what the hell I was doing, because I was I'm just looking for a life coach. I don't know.
Anyone will do right now.
Anybody will do at the moment. Somebody help me. But I planned originally on speaking to a few different like coaches to see who I thought would be like a good fit.
Right.
But I contacted you, obviously, and kind of gave you like a tiny rundown of, you know, what was going on. And then we did a FaceTime call consultation. And I essentially went on FaceTime with you. And I remember being like, I'm this social media influencer. My now ex-boyfriend is like a famous boy band dude. Like, this is my life. I feel like it's crumbling. Like, help me. And I remember you telling me, you're like, well, I've never like taken on a client like this, basically, like a social media influencer that, like, you know, with a famous boyfriend. Like, it's definitely for a niche amount of people, a niche audience. Very niche.
Right.
But you basically like told me right away that you would take me under your wing and that like you think this could work and stuff. And so we started working together in May of 2020, and I was seeing you twice a week at that time.
You were.
Because I was going, needed. Because I was going through it. So, like, it was bad. So I was seeing you twice a week, like, calling you, like, crying. Like, you didn't view my Instagram story today. Like,
from your backyard.
Yes, from my backyard. You're right.
Right.
I would FaceTime you in my backyard because I did not want my parents hearing, and I was staying at my parents' place.
Deb is a little nosy.
Deb is very nosy. Deb will get very nosy. So she always asks me every week when I'm like, I just left life. Yeah, I'm like, like nothing. She's like, you're paying for a life coach to talk about nothing, and I was like, well, obviously not. Like,
I'm paying to talk to her about.
She wants to know if you're talking about her.
About her,
right,
exactly.
Right.
That was the first thing. Like, basically, long story short, guys, the other week, me and my parents got into a little argument. You know, a little family tiff. It happens. We're all very angsty Italians.
Yeah.
But
so angsty.
Like the few days, right? So angsty. The few days though after that, when I saw you and I was talking to you and everything, like right after I left life coaching, my mom calls and she was like, "How was life coaching? What'd you talk about? Did you tell her about me? Did you tell her about everything? What's going on? What did she say about it?" And I was like, I'm not telling you.
Mother, Deb.
Calm down, Deb.
Take it down 4 notches.
Right. Deb is coming to visit me tomorrow too, so shout out Deb.
She's coming to visit me, babe.
She is coming. She's going to visit Lily. She needs the hug.
Lily needs a hug.
Yeah, Lily needs a hug. So Deb's coming to town. But anyways, so I started. See, this is what happens when we're recording. We go off on these random tangents.
So sorry.
But yeah, no. So I was seeing you twice a week for like, I remember we said it was going to be 30 minutes each. It definitely wasn't. It was like twice a week for like an hour.
Right.
And it was, you know, looking back at it as you did with you, you're like, oh, my journal was like so like. To other people it's funny and now it's funny, but like at the time I was like depressed, you know. That was me looking back at this. I was like in the moment freaking out over tiny little things. Oh, he didn't view my Instagram story. Why isn't he texting me back yet? Like blah blah blah.
You had
like,
the breakup scaries.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It was bad.
No, it was bad. Right.
Right.
She's like, yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Exposed.
No, literally.
She was suffering.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it was my first long-term relationship, and it also was a relationship that spurred from my prime teen years at 16 into my adult years, into my 20s.
You were very young when you guys broke up.
Yeah.
You were 20.
Well, yeah, I was 20, but still, regardless, it was teen years into adult years.
No,
like,
I'm saying 20 is when you have all these feelings and like you're not ready to go through some. It's always going to be hard, but at 20, it's really
exactly.
Right, but there's always other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it brings up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, it brings up, you know, like friggin' abandonment and oh my God, will I find somebody that's like, that was honestly a big thing at the time, I'm not gonna lie, is that I was like afraid that I wasn't gonna find somebody like quote unquote on the same level as my ex-boyfriend was, because he was like this like famous rich dude. Yeah, exactly. Which I mean, obviously looking back at it, it sounds so like not materialistic, but like, I don't know. I was like, I'm never going to find somebody that's on the same level, but like realistically, it's like I could find a man that's on the same, I know that thing keeps falling, but whatever. Yeah, no. But yeah, no, realistically, it's like I'm going to find somebody quote unquote on the same level, but you know, they might not be famous, but like, you know, somebody on the same level mentally.
Who's
like,
as ambitious.
Yeah, right. Ambition and drive is a huge thing, but
when you're 20, those are the things that you're worried about in a breakup. You're like,
no, exactly.
You know, But
yeah,
But
it was rough.
but you see it so differently now.
So that's what I was saying. Looking back at it, all those phone calls and me freaking out saying he said this or he didn't say this or he didn't view my Instagram story.
Right.
Now I look back at it
if
and I'm
the
like,
exact
who
same thing
was
happened
she?
right now, it would be a completely different
It
experience.
would be
She's
so
a different person.
Yeah.
Why do you think, like, you know,
This
obviously
past
you guys
breakup.
exactly. I just went through another breakup
And it was bad. It was rough.
No, it was bad,
We
and
had
you
a
know,
rough 2 months there.
yeah. Oh no, we definitely did, but not nearly as bad as it was getting out of the other
The bounce
relationship.
back was a little quicker.
Yeah.
There were no sidekicks involved.
No
Just
sidekicks.
Andrea.
No online sidekicks. Just Andrea's
Just G&T
God-given
and
work.
Andrea. Yeah.
Right. Andrea's shelf method.
God's work.
God's work. So, yeah, no, I mean, so that's that. And we started working together. And then, you know, obviously I always say this, that like I owe a lot of like the woman that I have become going
Yeah.
into my early 20s to you, because you taught me so much. Like, you know, I know when I like first started working with you, like, you know, because you're a life coach and everything, my parents were like skeptical because they were like, first of all, they'd never heard of a life coach before. So they were like, what is this scheme, you know? And yeah, my dad thinking it's like a pyramid scheme.
I can hear this conversation happening.
Oh my God. My dad is crazy. I love him. Shout out to Jim. Jim. But yeah, no. So they were like, what is this? Does it actually work? But it's crazy because my parents have also seen like the like complete 360 in the
So have
mindset
I.
that I've had. Yeah, you've seen it, and you've also experienced it firsthand with like me when you need advice coming to me, and me,
Yeah.
you know, everything that Andrea taught me, giving
Mommy.
it to you. So right. Mommy, literal mom.
You take care of me. Thank you.
I do take care of you. We discussed this in the last episode. I am literally Lily's mom by this point.
Thanks.
And then Andrea's mine. So basically.
So you guys kind of started with like dealing with your breakup anxiety. With that relationship.
Yeah. So it was, well, I mean, because every part of that breakup was
giving you anxiety.
Yeah, it was giving me like severe anxiety, like the, oh my God, what if this happens, and why didn't you do this, or blah blah blah.
Which brings us into today's topic.
Exactly. Anxiety, guys, like we said, that's why we have the one and only Andrea next to us, life coach, anxiety. It makes so much sense. So yeah, so we thought we would do, you know, this is Gin and Toxic, so it's going to focus a lot on, as we were talking about anxiety within relationships, but like anxiety in general. So I mean, we'll kind of just like hop into that.
The
basically.
first few points we have here are pretty vague.
Very vague. We obviously, you guys know that we write down like a quote unquote script before we get into the episode, but we don't actually play by the script. Like,
I guess
we just use it as like a guidance point. So
we can kind of start by asking Andrea. I feel like, you know, in the beginning stages of a relationship, when you're going into things, is it normal to feel anxious when you're first getting into a relationship, or is that like a red flag, or should you be feeling signs of anxiety like getting right into a new relationship, you know, the fear of starting something new and committing to somebody?
Right. Well, it depends. First of all, I think people confuse anxiety with excitement at the beginning of a relationship. Yeah. So that's one thing to try to think like, oh, maybe I'm just excited. But anxiety, and I say this to Christina 10 times a day, and you know, a session.
She's like, I keep trying to get it through her head.
No, anxiety is worrying about something that hasn't happened. Okay. Yeah. So what you're thinking, and also what I see is that so many girls, especially young girls, are always worried about if the guy likes them.
Yeah, but that's literally what I wrote down on here about like crushes.
That's what I was kind of reading. So.
Right. Instead of even considering how you feel about them. So if you could, here's the mindset shift. If you could, when you're dating or first meet a guy, just try to stay, lean back, be in your feminine energy, and figure out if you like the guy before you get crazy over him liking you.
Right. Yeah.
Because
I feel like
you don't even act like yourself if you're worried about if they like you.
Sometimes you get so crazy wondering if they like you that you will realize down the line, do I even like him that much?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you know what it is I feel like that has a lot to do with we actually touched on this like a little bit in the Patty and Sean episode, that you want what you can't have. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of that probably stems from that, like where you're so not, maybe like the guy isn't giving you as much attention as you wanted, and that's why like it's kind of making you question. And so you're like, because he's not giving it as much, like you want to feed your ego basically.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like maybe that kind of plays into it too. Like, you know, you're worried so much about, does he like me back? Will he like me back? And you're not so worried about like how it's making you feel when you should be. I mean, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, or add on that, or, you know.
But you just said that you want something you can't have.
Yeah.
Okay? A lot of girls think that way, okay?
Yeah. Okay, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm about to get roasted. Okay.
Saying that wanting something you can't have already says that you're having self-doubts. Okay? Because why can't you have that? Why is he on a pedestal already? Right?
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And that all comes
so true.
That all comes down to confidence and self-esteem. If you're comfortable in your own skin and being yourself, then you don't have to try to impress. You don't have to be scared. You can be excited over a guy.
Yeah.
You know,
You'll just automatically draw the right person to you.
You have to be yourself. Connection is the most attractive part of a relationship.
Yeah.
You can't connect with someone if you're not being yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're so scared that he's not going to like you, you're not being yourself.
Yeah. Wow. I just got schooled.
Period.
Is this May 2020?
But I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
Like being with the guy, you never thought you could get a guy so hot or, you know, so with such a good, successful, all that stuff. But why not?
Yeah.
Why do you think that way?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
So we were, what was I going to put in here?
Why isn't the guy lucky to be going out with you?
Yeah. Right.
Well, he
Change the narrative.
is.
He is.
I had
we
someone
always say this.
Oh, yeah, he is. I had someone recently tell me that like when you meet someone, if you have a connection with them, it should never feel like one person's chasing the other. You should automatically feel like equals, and like neither one of you is, you know, cooler or better or whatever. It's just like you should be equals in a relationship. And in my past relationships, I've always felt like always kind of out of my league, even kind of my current one, because he was like so social and he partied a lot and his friends were really cool. He's older than me. I always felt like I was like trying to keep up a little bit.
Okay, so if you're feeling the need to keep up with them, then you're not being yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not being vulnerable and authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, spinning facts.
Oh no.
I'm gonna like re-listen to this episode later and be like,
Wow.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I got schooled again.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years. How is this still happening?
Oh, it'll keep happening.
No,
you were gonna say another.
You know, I
note,
was
though.
actually gonna say though, we literally discussed this like a week or two ago, that, you know, I was talking, I mean, I'll keep his name out of this. One of the men that we've talked about on this episode before, that I had a little crush on, was not giving me, you know who I'm talking about, was not giving me like the same energy, and I was like going crazy. And so I, you know, our, you know, weekly Tuesday 10 a.m. La Pon meetups, me and Andrea. But we, I told you, like, one week I went into you and I was like, I'm going crazy, like, over this guy. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm freaking out, like, all these things. And you're telling me, like, I shouldn't be feeling this way, like, all that. And then literally the next weekend, I went in to you, and it was the weekend after updating when I met Harry, and I was like, yeah, things are really good, really easy. He's a great guy. Like, things are going super smoothly. And you were like, this is exactly what it's supposed to feel like. Yeah. You were like, what you were feeling last week was like,
even if he's not like crazy, the one, you should know how the start to a good relationship should feel.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. So I remember you telling me, so we were literally just going back to the basics last week, discussing crushes and stuff. Like, but yeah, let me see.
I feel like when you become single, you kind of do have to go back to the basics of like because when you've been in such a long relationship, you have to remember like what it's like to be like, that it's okay to be by yourself, and then going into new relationships and dating, you know, reminding yourself of red flags and what to get into and how it should feel, how it shouldn't feel. You know, you should never feel like, you know, with that one guy, like you're like.
But every time you get out of a relationship, you're a different person.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
you have to find that person yourself again.
You take time, like I made Christina do, basically take time for yourself. Do not jump into anything new. I mean, you guys are young. You should be dating and having fun, but you learn so much from relationships. So when you get out of a long-term relationship, take a minute and figure out what you learned and focus on what you want next.
Yeah.
Like what would really work for you. That's where coaching comes in.
Yeah. I always say too, like when you get out of a relationship, like you have to like, now I've learned at least that like you gotta look at the positive of, like you said, the lesson. And then I mean, with every failed relationship, it teaches you something that you really liked about them and something that you want in your future relationships, and then things that you maybe don't want in your future relationships.
It teaches you about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a, win-win, because I mean, you're no longer with a person that wasn't meant for you, but you're also learning a lesson of being able to apply that to a future relationship.
Yeah.
So backtracking a little bit more, basically, because we were talking about, we touched a little bit on insecurity within relationships, or how anxiety within relationships, you said, stems from insecurity or, confidence issues. So I think we should definitely touch on that a little bit more, because yesterday, even when I was kind of very briefly discussing the episode with you, when I was like, oh yeah, like we'll talk about this and this and this, you were like kind of spitballing. You were like, and that stems from insecurity, and that stems from insecurity. Like, so, if you could touch more on that, basically, like how, like why your insecurity or how we're feeling insecure plays into anxiety and our relationships more specifically.
Right. So if you're feeling insecure, okay, not confident within yourself, then you're not able to really be yourself, because you're so worried, thinking about, like I said, does he like me? What's he thinking about me? Instead of just being yourself and not worrying about if he likes you, because connection is what's attractive to people.
Yeah.
Like, people are attracted to people's energy, right? So it's not so much about what you're wearing or what you look like. It's just, if you're a cool girl, meaning, to me, cool girl means that you're confident and comfortable in your own skin. That's what's attractive to guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? If you're feeling insecure, then you're probably sound nervous. You're messing it up before it even happens. So you want to say to yourself, if I'm going out on all these dates and so scared to get on the apps, then maybe there's something that I need to work on before I go out and do this.
Please do. Please don't even try getting into a relationship before you have done the personal
You know what
work.
happens also? You're going to attract somebody who is also insecure.
Yeah.
Okay. Or controlling, possessive, all that stuff.
So true.
And you're not going to get into a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Or they are good and it's not fair on them whatsoever that you haven't done the work.
That's what I mean by messing it up.
And I've been that person before. That's why I feel comfortable saying it. With my last relationship, the first year or two, I was not used to being with someone who was so social and had so many, girls that were just friends and whatever, that whole shebang. So that was very hard for me, and I made myself look like such an idiot and so young and insecure because I was so jealous all the time. Because I was so young, I had not done the work yet to become who I am now and be as confident as I am now.
Right.
So I just ended up making myself look pretty
Right.
stupid.
But maybe also you were not being vulnerable and saying, I don't really like being so social. Like, I like a little bit, but not.
No, I wasn't
you have to be comfortable also to say what works for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was not.
You can't just keep agreeing with them until the end of time.
You're doing.
Just so he'll like you.
I'm there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So work on ourselves, get through the insecurities. How would you then what's the advice you would give someone how to improve their insecurity issues?
Okay. So sometimes it comes from backstories, like mother-daughter relationships. Maybe something hurtful happened with a guy when you were in middle school or high school. Sometimes it comes from that, right? It could come from there are a lot of different things it can come from. But the point is to realize that I'm not feeling comfortable in my own skin and I need to work through this. Now, like I said before, anxiety is worrying about something that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So, for example, he's not going to like me. Okay? He's just not. He's too hot, or he's too this, or he's too that. So right away, you're setting yourself up for failure. right? So you need to go out and become who you want to be. Go out and do the things that you like to do. Great way to meet people anyway. Doing the things you like to do. You can meet a guy
meet people
that way.
like to do the things you like to do. Yeah.
Just develop your personality and develop yourself as a woman. And then see, instead of what I go out and find or
what you
get,
attract.
Oh, bingo.
There you go.
You start to attract.
Lily's learning.
You know? I always say to people, like, if you're sitting in a bar and you watch women walk in, it's not always the prettiest girl that gets the attention. There's just something about like their energy or their confidence.
Yeah.
And that's what's attractive.
I mean, you could have a supermodel in the room, and if she sucks, she sucks.
Exactly.
Like,
she could be like
matter.
a bitch or awkward and then some, plain looking girl walks in, but she has such good energy.
Yeah.
That you're like,
confident,
wow,
funny.
What's she on?
Exactly. Okay. So, I mean, I'll just touch on this like super quickly because I mean, it just plays right into this too, but just to get it out there, because when I posted that we were doing an episode about anxiety, we were getting so many DMs of people saying that they need reassurance. The reassurance
oh my God,
thing.
I used to be the fucking worst.
Oh my gosh, I was crazy about it, especially like, being in a long distance relationship. I was always asking for reassurance that like he still wanted to do this and still wanted to be with me and everything, because it was just, we're traveling all over the place. So, I mean, I'm assuming you're going to tell the same thing, which is the reassurance thing stems from insecurity within yourself.
You shouldn't even have to ask for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You know what? He should be wondering about you.
Yeah. Oh. Right.
Once
again,
so many girls are focused
in your power.
on, right. The girls are focused on if he likes me, or does he want to see me? Does he want to stay with me? Is he going to call me? What about if you want to be with him?
Mm-hmm. That's literally, I wrote that down in here because that was one of the very first things you taught me, was changing my wording, because every time I would go on FaceTime with you,
oh, here we go, I know this
once
one.
again.
Mindset.
I taught Lily this, but
flip it.
Yeah, flip the wording, because
Right.
it was always originally like, oh, well, he feels like this and he needs to do this and he feels like this. And I remember you telling me like, okay, well, but what do you want? Because I told you, like, with my ex relationship, I was like, he feels like he needs to see if the grass is greener on the other side, and he needs to be single and explore and whatever. And you were like, okay, well, what about what you want? Do you want that? Do you want a guy that's like that?
Have you even thought about what you wanted?
Have you even thought about what you want? Yeah.
Does that even work for you?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And the answer was obviously, like, once you were telling me that and you were like, okay, but what about what you want? What works for you? The answer was obvious, which is, no, that doesn't work for me. I don't want a guy who doesn't want to be with me, a guy that wants to go and, test the waters, see if the grass is greener. Like, that doesn't work for me. And I think that, as we talk about the whole shift in mindset, I think that was like one of the first things that you taught me that was like really stuck with me, because like you were saying, a lot of people don't even think about what they want.
I didn't. You're the reason why I flipped my narrative, like 100%. I was like, he doesn't want to live with me. He doesn't want this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, a lot of girls will accept crumbs because that's all that they can have. Yeah. So, well, if he wants to see other people, then I guess I'll let him see other people. Yeah. But why would you see a guy that wants to see other people?
Yeah. Like, realistically deep down, you don't want to see a guy that wants to see other people. Yeah. Like,
and it's empowering to say that doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. That's what builds confidence.
Yeah. I feel like that takes, what though? It takes practice. I will definitely say, obviously
it really does.
It takes balls and it takes practice.
Right.
Like, you really need to, like, there are even times where I still have to remind myself, like, of what I want and everything, and I have to backtrack. And be like, go back to the roots of, like I said, May 2020, when Andrea told me to tell me to think about what I want instead of what he wants, But I think as you, with a lot of things that we're talking about in this episode, of like things that you need to do in relationships and ways to change your mindset and everything, it's like a, you're not gonna hear this episode and then be like, all right, I'm going to implement that into my life and everything's going to change
Consider
tomorrow.
it done. No.
Yeah, like it's going to take time.
It takes time. It takes work, and it's not a straight line. You know, like different relationships bring up different issues, and you want to constantly be working on yourself. You know, everyone is a work in progress. There's no end game.
Yeah.
You know, but you want to go through the game feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and doing what's right for you.
So you can make good decisions and choose the right guys.
Okay, so one of the big things that I would deal with going through this breakup that Andrea really helped me with too was, once again, kind of what we touched about in the beginning. We touched on most of these things actually in the beginning of this episode, and now we're just kind of deep diving into a few things. But one of the big things that I wrote down is the what if scenarios, because I went to you every single week and I was like, what if he comes back? What if he doesn't? What if he gets another girlfriend? What if he decides he never wants to be with me? And what if, like, blah, 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 blah. And like basically you told me, you were like, this is like, it's all in your head. Like it's fake. So if you want to touch on that, like what would you, somebody, a girl like
that's so
me
classic in a breakup. Yeah.
Yeah. That's having all these, oh my God, what if this happens and everything, like what would you tell?
All right,
first tell Christina in 2020.
All right, so what ifs are basically a waste of time because you're talking about something that hasn't happened. Okay, but so what if? What if? You have to say, no matter what happens, I'll handle it.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by working on yourself, because if you feel confident, then what if he calls?
You're not going to be
You'll know
worried.
what to say.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Or what if he doesn't call? You'll know what to do.
Yeah. So once again, staying in your power and working on yourself.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like this entire episode could be summed up into, if you have anxiety, come on, work on those insecurity issues. Like, those deep
or stop worrying about things that haven't happened.
Yeah, exactly. And that was one of the things that I actually wrote down too, which is basically that the future is unknown.
Well, you know what also? Replace those thoughts with things that you want.
So whenever,
always focus on the life you want to create.
Yeah. You're like, okay, well, what if he gets a girlfriend? What if I get a boyfriend? Like,
exactly.
What if I'm living my happily ever after? Like, how about that?
Exactly.
Once again, that goes into the what he wants, versus what you want mindset that we just discussed. But yeah, no, I wrote down the whole future thing because I think that's a big thing too that, kind of a lot of people's anxiety also stems from, is just like this fear of the future, and like this fear of things not working out in the future, something going wrong in the future. Like, am I making the right moves for the future? Like, and I feel like it's all about like living in the present. So, I mean, how would you, with people that are like just constantly, even if it doesn't relate to relationship future, people that are just always freaking out about their future and that's what's making them anxious. That was a huge thing also too with us, is that we slowly, as I started to kind of heal from that relationship, I had this huge issue with procrastination and
I forgot about that.
Yes, my perfectionism habits. That was a really big thing that we talked about.
Yeah. Right.
The perfectionism was giving me like such severe anxiety because like if I couldn't get a video perfect, if I couldn't get a podcast episode like done and completed and perfect, then I didn't want to do it. And then I would end up getting nothing done. And then that would constantly give me anxiety. So I guess kind of, outside of relationship anxiety, if we're touching into that with fear of the future and anxiety over, getting something done or doing it perfectly or whatever, how would you can kind of coach a person, I guess?
Well, I think I don't even remember all that stuff with you with work now, because now it's so different.
Like, I
now,
remember.
Now I almost have to say, well, make sure you have time to relax.
Time for yourself. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. You're killing it.
Thank you. Times have changed. Yeah.
First of all, with procrastination, I think I used to say to you, do it anyway.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right? Because a lot of people wait until they feel right to write a paper or take an exam or do something for work, whatever it is, do their website, launch something.
That was
Everyone's always
my
like
website
waiting.
was West 27.
Right.
Remember, that was a whole thing.
Right. Everyone's and I pushed you. Yeah.
Just get something
That
done.
needed to be pushed a little bit.
Yeah.
But you did a great job.
Yeah.
But, you know, everybody has some form of procrastination, okay? Because we're all a little scared to put it out there, regardless what it is. But you got to think, first of all, if you don't do it, then tomorrow's just going to be the same old thing.
Yeah.
So you have to take chances. You have to push through. You can't wait until you feel perfect about something to do it. Just do it anyway. Like I'm constantly saying to clients all day long, they'll call me and say, I'm having a bad day. I just couldn't do what we said I was going to do. And I said, so do it anyway.
Yeah. It's better to like get something done than nothing
and
done.
all this energy it takes to talk about why you didn't do it, it could just be done.
Exactly.
Just do it.
Yeah, I remember one thing that we touched on that like I kept holding off on having to. I went through like this rut where like I wasn't recording any of my Fabletics stuff because I kept freaking out about what I would look like on camera, and I would like wake up and be like, oh well, my hair is kind of greasy today, or I have a pimple that I can't cover up, or all these excuses. And I mean, obviously it's different as like being a content creator and everything, because people like me for like people like us on this show for like the realness and the vulnerability and the like rawness, I guess, of it. Yet I was like freaking out about what my hair would look like on camera, or the one pimple that I had. And I remember you telling me like, you just have to do it, and that's what your audience likes anyways. Like they're not like, nobody in your audience is like, unless they're not a fan of you, is gonna DM you, especially with activewear too. That was the one thing you told me too. You're like, why does your hair and makeup have to look perfect to promote activewear? You're wearing things to go to the gym.
Literally, Christina.
Like you don't need makeup to go to the gym. And I was like, God, you're right. Like I'm overthinking this so much, which that's, I mean, also the anxiety.
You used to overthink in general. Like
I was
so
just going to say,
bad.
well, a lot of like, my anxiety stemmed from overthinking, which is the what if scenarios. What if this happens? What if like, oh my God, if I do this, then what if this happens? Blah, blah, blah.
Now I feel like you just don't give a fuck.
Right.
I don't. Nope.
But that's good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Like I said, I learned so much, and now I'm like, it is what it is. Like when it happens in the future happens, and
you
just
come off as
going
your
with the
real
wave.
self.
Yeah. This is like perfect example. I was just talking to Lily the other day about my love life and not really knowing where I'm going with it. And then I was like, honestly, I'm just like, back in 2020, I would have been freaking out about this, being like, oh my God, what if this happens? But now, like the one thing I just
who cares where it's going?
I literally
busy for that anyway.
every single day, all I say all day long is, well, you know what? I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun.
Right.
And
That's important what Lily just said too.
What?
Like, well, it doesn't really
cares
matter
where
because
it's
we're
going?
so busy anyway. Yeah. Like, that's another important thing for girls. Like, you
We don't
have
need to find our
keep busy.
husband
have your
tomorrow.
own thing going on.
Yeah.
So
you're not like wrapped
like you
up
guys,
in boys all
like
day. Yeah.
so much have your own stuff going on.
A boyfriend would literally get in the way right now.
Right.
But that's also, it's
if anything.
You know what? It's also attractive to a guy because you go out on a date or go out for dinner and you have stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
You know,
things to do,
it's
stuff to talk
interesting.
If he's like, "Can I see you again tomorrow?" You're like, "No, I'm busy."
Right.
Yeah.
I'm busy,
Right.
darling.
I feel like that's even
Only if you really are.
Yeah, only if you actually are. Yeah.
Right. You don't have to play games.
We probably would be because we're very busy.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
That's what I mean,
We
that's how busy we are. It's not like
yeah.
I'm like gonna, clear my whole schedule for a
But
man
that's good.
right
You
now.
want you want a whole balanced life.
Okay, yeah, and I think a kind of good way to like wrap at least this kind of discussion up before we go into, you guys submitted some stuff to us on Instagram, is talking about just in general letting go of what doesn't serve you, and at least what doesn't serve you right now. And wanted to bring this up obviously because as we've talked about on the show before, and as we talked about in the intro, the shelf method that you taught me, which was like a huge thing. I don't know, like that just like stuck with me for some reason. So I'll let you explain the shelf method since you are the I don't know if you're the creator or whatever, but you passed it along to me anyways with, putting the little thing on the shelf.
I think I made that up.
Yeah.
And it ties into the what ifs.
Yeah.
Right. First of all, nobody knows when you break up with someone if it's forever, if somewhere down the road they're going to come back into your life, or you're going to grow in the same way and be meant to be later on. So instead of worrying about all that, like, is it over forever? Is it good? Am I ever going to talk to him again? I always say, put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Like, just put it away for now.
Doesn't mean it's gone forever.
No, it doesn't mean it's gone forever. It doesn't mean it's going to be. There's no concrete answer. You're just putting it on the shelf.
Yeah.
That's all.
Friendships, relationships.
Everything. It's so much less intense than something, because a lot of people can't deal with something being completely over.
Yeah.
And even with girlfriends, I mean, I have girlfriends that I lost touch with over the years, and now we're like best friends again. Relationships with mothers and daughters are always changing. So you never know what's going to happen down the road. So just put things on the shelf.
Yeah.
Let your shelf grow.
Yeah. And if it serves you later down the line, then
exactly,
you take it off.
Right.
And like career choices, Yeah.
Right.
Like I've bounced around in my career quite a bit, and I like won't do something for a while, and then I'll like pick it back up again, and when it does serve me and when it makes sense. But I mean, in all aspects.
It's kind of like what we, honestly, in a way, what we did with this podcast. Because when I was doing the Really Bitchy podcast, I kind of finally determined, like, I need to kind of shut down the podcast. I need to take a little break from podcasting and really figure out what I wanted to do. Put the podcasting on the shelf.
Right.
And then when I was like ready to get back into it, and I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do. It isn't gone forever. I was not like, screw podcasting, I'm never doing it again. I always knew I wanted to go back into it. Yeah. Take it off the shelf and, rebrand it. Put a little glitter on it.
You were having trouble coming up with a name.
So
and
long.
so you
my God.
Right?
So,
but then I told you, let it go for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it
literally
came.
let it go, and it came to us. I was in like the Amish country when it came to us.
I was on the beach babysitting.
Yeah, you were on the beach babysitting, and I was at a bar in the Amish country with my parents.
Yeah,
like
couldn't have been randomer.
Yeah.
And as soon as we said it,
we were like, this is it.
Yeah,
we said it, and then we're like, actually, I kind of like this. And like an hour later, we're like, this is it.
This is
it.
And then everything started. I was like, we're toxic.
Yeah, I remember when we were going through like the paperwork with my lawyer, like to figure out like the trademarking and all of that stuff, and we were like talking about our options and stuff of how we want to trademark it, and we're like this will be the name of the show. There's not going to be any other name.
Yeah,
figure it out. We're like, this is it. This is ours.
We will pay $1 million.
Yeah, like this is our damn name. Yeah, it was so funny. But yeah, no, like you said, put it on the shelf. Serves you, bring it back.
That's what I'm doing right. Like I've done wardrobe styling in my career, but like that's kind of on the shelf right now because I'm focusing on this. Right. But like it'll come back. I know it'll come back. Right. But like
exactly.
I'm not really like
it'll come back in a new way.
Exactly. Oh, it needs to come back.
Right. The bottom line is with relationships or anything, you can't force things. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you definitely have to work hard. Okay, if you want something, but you have to leave room for the magic. Mm-hmm. You have to leave room like for the universe. Yeah. You have to be open to figuring out like what's going to happen next. Like I'll work hard and I'll try, but I'm also going to leave room for something that I don't even know is coming.
Right. Yeah. And I always say too that like I feel like the things that really change you in life and kind of change your perspective on things, whether it's relationship, career, friendship, whatever, are always the things that you don't expect. Like, I don't think you're going to wake up one day and be like, oh, like I need to change my life around and this is going to change my relationship today, whatever. It's like something happens that you don't like expect to happen, and then
for me it was this podcast.
Yeah,
I never thought I would have a this is the last. I never really even listened to podcasts. Like it was just not a part of my life whatsoever. I was all about fashion. Like I don't know, that was my whole life. And when she asked me to do it, I was like, I guess.
Yeah, like let me.
And
just
now it has become like my whole life, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But like I could have never guessed this, and it not only like career wise has it completely changed me, it has changed me as a person.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be like, can you imagine me being shy? Like I was.
Well, we were just talking about this the other day about like I told Lily how I've seen like the evolution of her since we started in October to now, and like
so much.
She changed so much, and it was literally just like, you know, as you said, you've never done podcasting before, and this was such a random choice.
And it's not just any podcast either. It's like,
it's a very
we're putting ourselves out there.
Yeah, it's like a raunchy comedy, like,
right.
You know?
You pushed out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like never in a million years. And like I always loved comedy and knew I was like the funny one within my friend group, but like around new people or on like the internet, never would I ever crack a joke or like put myself out there or say anything inappropriate. But now I like whenever I walk into a room, even if I don't know anyone, if they know about Gin and Toxic, I just feel comfortable like making any kinds of jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
And it feels so good.
It's so funny now because like we walk into a room together and like we are the life of the party. We are the Gin and Toxic girls. People are like, hell yeah. But no, it's just crazy. Like, I am very proud of you because I've seen the evolution. Hell yeah. I've seen the evolution of you from going, you know, I remember when we first started this show, there were like, you know, we would talk about touchy things.
I would be like,
here
we
and
can't,
there,
you gotta cut that out.
Yeah,
we
you would
can't
be like, like we can't really talk about that. It wasn't that we couldn't talk about, but
people.
Yeah, it'll upset people, whatever. Like just stupid little things too about like whether it had to do with like something in our sex life, or even if it wasn't our sex life, it was something like just stupid, involving sex in general, or kissing, or like crush it, like something like stupid like that.
Yeah.
And then over time, as the show like evolved, you just got like more and more and more comfortable with opening up, and then people, obviously the people have just been like eating it up.
Yeah.
And I think when people like, it's a good feeling when you show your vulnerable side
and people like it
and people feed into it, then you're like, it kind of gives you like the in your mind like the okay to continue being vulnerable, you know, and that makes you feel good. So,
and you'll never go back.
No.
Right.
I've put too much on the internet now to go back.
Girl, I mean, you'll never go back to being shy. Like you're learning how to be yourself.
I never was like the most anxious person, but I always struggled with social anxiety and just like going. I like always loved to go out, but I had to be with like my core group. But now I'm like, bring the randoms, baby. I wanna
the random.
And like I just started like, it's just a restaurant job, but I work at this restaurant, and like I've become really good friends with everyone like right off the bat. I've gone out with all their friends. Like that is so different for me to like automatically feel comfortable and like be the loud one in the room. But
you're being yourself, and it's building your confidence.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And like seeing that people really like that energy from me is cool. What does that sound?
Yeah, I'm like trying to figure that. All right, so you guys submitted quite a bit of questions when I put that question box up, it was like crazy.
Everyone needs help.
Everyone's like, a life coach, like free life coaching session.
Yeah.
Let me get in
Mental
on
health
this.
is very hot right now.
Yeah. Oh no, it is. And I feel like especially like with, you know, girls, guys, everything of our age and our generation, Gen Z especially, mental health is a huge thing. It's highlighted, and I think it's great. But so I mean, there was a few things. One of the things which you brought this up like very briefly earlier, I heard, and when you brought it up, I was like, oh, it's funny because I planned on asking about it, is somebody said, how do I get the courage to get on dating apps and beat the anxiety that's holding me back from going on dates?
That's interesting.
And we just got so many submissions of people saying they have this like fear of dating apps. And honestly, it was funny because I mean, even both of you guys know that when I got out of my most recent relationship, I've told you this like a bunch of times, I was like so nervous to like re-download Hinge and like go on dates, and like the big thing for me was because I met my ex through Hinge, I was having this like anxiety of him like seeing me change my like profile pictures and whatever his reaction would be from that, which obviously now looking back at it was kind of stupid, but
because he broke up with
you. Exactly.
If you broke up with him, I would get it.
Yeah, but even then, still, like, so, I mean, I guess once again, I would assume it stems from insecurity, as we've been going over in this episode. But like, I mean, I guess what would you tell people that have this like fear of dating apps, whether it's getting on the app or whether it's going on the actual dates. Actually, one of our really good friends, which when I tell this, you'll automatically know who I'm talking about. He will like set up, first of all, he's horrible with girls, but he will set up he will set up a date with a girl like on a dating app or something, and then he will cancel on them because he'll just get
the
like
asshole that like,
yeah,
but I feel like to the
but,
girl
like,
it
he's
comes
not-
across as like, oh, this dude's just
Yeah,
canceling
he, like,
me, but
keeps
he
canceling.
actually gets
Right.
like scared.
He gets really scared and is like, I just can't do it. Like I can't go on a date. So I don't know, like what, I guess kind of like advice or anything you would say to like those people that are just having this like freak out over getting on apps or going on dates, and you know.
Well, again, it goes back to because you're worrying about if they like you instead of if you like them, right? So
yeah.
do people your age do Bumble?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huge. Actually,
Bumble's much,
sponsor us.
it's much easier for girls to start on Bumble
That's
because
true.
they're the ones who reach out.
That's true.
So the guy can't reach out to you.
Yeah. Although I will say, I sometimes would get nervous going on Bumble because I get nervous about starting a conversation, which sounds
You?
so,
Maybe
yeah,
it's
you're like
maybe
you.
that's good for you. Maybe you should be on Bumble, babe.
I know. Bumble's kind of a pain
I
in the
can't
ass. They
see you
take
getting
that over.
nervous to start a conversation.
Well, sometimes I just don't know. You know what it is I don't know how to start the conversation sometimes with like a guy that like is not like, I feel like you gotta have something on your, I mean, we
you
went
know
over
why?
this. Like,
you know why?
oh God, I'm gonna get scolded
Because
again.
you're worrying about saying the right thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, like
Definitely.
it's not that deep. You can
How
just
do
be
you
like,
know what
hey.
the right
Like a
thing?
good first
Right.
impression.
You can just say, hey.
How do you know what the right thing is? You haven't even met the guy.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
be yourself.
Hey, how's your Tuesday?
You
Like
know what?
whatever. I don't know. Oh God, I'm gonna
If-
be really bad. Oh no.
Well, he's like, oh,
You know what? It really doesn't matter what you say at the beginning. I mean, if they're interested, they're gonna, first
gonna
of all,
gravitate to you
on
anyways.
Bumble, you can't even reach out unless it's a match, right?
No,
yeah.
you can't.
Well, you can't reach out to them in general. Well, no,
No.
Hinge you
Girl.
can reply to a
If
prompt.
you match, then the girl can
Then the
reach
girl
out.
reaches out,
So you
yes.
already know there's interest,
yeah.
right?
Physically,
That's,
yeah.
that's very true.
Right?
Yeah, at least physically.
So
Yeah,
Bumble's
definitely.
easier. But when it comes to that, like being scared to go on apps and stuff, it's because you're worrying about them liking you.
Yeah.
Okay? So flip it.
Worried about like people
Okay.
liking you, right? Yeah.
Flip it to let me see who I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if they're interested in me.
Dating apps are
Okay.
You know?
I feel like
Okay.
dating apps are not for everyone.
No.
And it is if you are
But-
someone who doesn't go out a lot in New York, how else are you gonna meet a guy? I get why you might
Yeah.
get them. But like for me personally, I don't really see myself being a huge dating app person because I am
No.
going out a lot. And like if I meet a guy at a bar and we hit it off, sure, I'll go on a date with you.
Yeah.
Like because
Right,
I already
right.
know
You know,
there's
same thing,
something
like-
there. But
Yeah.
a dating app to me feels like a blind date almost because
Right.
yes, I know what you look like.
Other than that, I know
don't
not
know
much about
a
you.
single fucking thing.
What
about
I know
you.
that like you have like a dog.
Yeah,
that's
and the
named
odds
Jerry,
are it's
and
gonna
that's
suck.
it.
So
Yeah,
I'm,
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
no.
just my opinion.
What I always tell to people with like the dating apps and everything, this could literally be a clip that we could throw in a dating app episode too, but with the dating apps and stuff, when people are like, because I feel like a lot of people are afraid of like dates going wrong, like bad dates.
Like,
and I
you're gonna have
always-
them, babe.
You're gonna have a million of them. You're gonna have more bad dates than you do good dates.
Right.
Or mediocre dates.
Of course.
But I always tell people that like even with your bad dates, your mediocre dates, you learn once again, going back
Practice.
to it's practice. You learn what you like, you learn what you don't like, and if anything, it's a funny story.
Right.
You
And
know?
also look at it like it's a game.
Yeah.
Don't be so serious.
Technically,
It's not
it's
so serious.
really not that
you know?
serious.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a first date, it's really not that serious. Like,
Exactly.
There's no need to make, especially for like a first date off a dating app. Like you do not have to like go to dinner and have a nice meal. Like get a drink
No.
where you can kind of get out if you want.
Right.
That's what I don't know. That's what I.
No,
like.
no, absolutely. I we talked about this once again with Sammy and Sean, where we're talking about dating apps that like I think
No,
it's
not
preferred.
Sammy and Sean. Not Sammy and Sean.
Sammy. Patty and Sean. Sorry, I got the Irishmen mixed up. But what's it called? When we were talking about what like the perfect first date spot is, and we both agreed that the perfect first date is like
a wine
nice
bar,
wine or cocktail. Yeah, with like a little nibble, but like you don't want to do a full-fledged dinner usually, because if it gets awkward, you don't like the guy, you want to be able to have your one drink and leave. You know,
or like go to a park and like have like a little date picnic or something. Get a bagel.
Tompkins Square bagels.
Yeah.
That would be my dream. Bring me to H&H and I am good. Okay, another thing that we got. So I kind of reworded this. I wrote down, do you have any like quote unquote foolproof techniques for relieving anxiety? Because I was getting a lot of DMs from people asking if you had like any like anxiety relief methods that like if somebody starts to like get like an anxiety attack like in the moment, like what can they do in that very moment that will at least bring them back down to earth like a little bit, you know?
Right. Well, there's always like deep breathing,
course.
but it's also like you want to be grounded. Like you want to almost like visualize yourself standing and have 2 feet on the ground and be grounded and just get back to the moment. Because that anxiety is, you're probably worrying about something not happening, something that happened in the past, you know, whatever it is, when you're having anxiety, you're not living in the moment. So you have to really get yourself grounded. And that's where coaching is so beneficial for people, because it's not that you're always steady and things are always great when you're going through coaching, but you have tools to get back to grounding yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you can balance yourself.
That's what my life coach
You know what I was actually...
we all get anxious. Everybody gets off sometimes.
Yeah. You know what I don't know, this like just came to mind because you were talking about like the benefits of coaching and why it's important and everything, that I forgot to mention, which I think this is kind of like a big thing that I really like that you do, is you like have like this flexibility in your schedule where like if I'm, you know, I'm not a strict every Tuesday 10 a.m. I see you for an hour and that's only when I see you. Like if I'm freaking out during the week about something, I could text you like on the spot, like day and night. You'll answer me, you'll get back to me whenever, you'll give me like, you know, I like sometimes I think I just like that better than like, you know, sometimes I guess like a full hour and then you don't talk to them at all. But like shit happens during the week. Like shit has happened. One time, literally, I went to you. Everything about my life was good and dandy on a Tuesday. 2 hours later, I had to go back to Long Island to see my dog die.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, what am I going to do? Like wait a whole week to talk to you about it when I'm like freaking out because my dog is dying?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Right.
So I mean, that's like a super random thing that I just want to bring up. But I like that you're like accessible like that.
Well,
you know?
I offer that
to
to like anyone who I'm working with on a steady basis. They know that, and people text me on dates before interviews. Like if something's going on during the week, you have to reach out and so I can help you through it, because you're not going to wait until next week.
Yeah. You could even reach out, have like a small discussion about it, get grounded, and then go into the deep dive of it in the session.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. I didn't have any of this stuff when I was like your age. So for you guys to be like working on yourselves and evolving and understanding yourselves, it's like you're setting yourself up for successful lives and good relationships and marriages and good relationships with your kids. So I say to everyone out there, like, do what you can to work on yourselves. Like everything is about you. It's not like when you get married, when you meet the right guy, you'll be happy, or when you have the right job, you'll be happy. Like happiness comes from within. And a lot of stuff happens in life and things happen to all of us.
Yeah.
But you want to feel happy on the inside. You want to just be happy about who you are. It's so important.
Yeah. And I feel like you can't be happy in a relationship and in your career and all that stuff unless you have like internal happiness and
100%.
happiness and security within yourself first.
Right. You can't, nobody wants to be the source of your happiness. If you're depending on a guy to be happy, they're going to run from that eventually.
Yeah.
And
100%.
then what
and then
happens?
you're left. Yeah. Exactly. I remember one of the things that I used to say in my ex relationships was I would be like, he was like, I feel like a part of me was ripped apart. He was my other half. He was my 50%.
I'll
and
never
it's
be
like,
happy again.
Yeah, like
Right.
it can't be like that. Like you need to be 100% within yourself, and then a boyfriend, girlfriend, or obviously career and stuff too. Like that's just an addition onto your happiness.
100%.
Exactly.
I like what you said about how like back when you were younger, like you wouldn't have had this to
No,
listen to.
we didn't
and
have
when,
any of this.
Exactly. And when Christina asked me if she was like, "Oh, do you think Andrea should come on the show to talk about anxiety?" I was like, "What a amazing thing
Yeah, what
that
a
we can
great
give
thing.
our audience," because like obviously this is a comedy podcast and we joke around a lot, but we are in pivotal years of our life where, especially I feel like this year for both me and Christina, everything is changing right now for us. Everything
Right.
is changing, and amongst that we are trying to be the best versions of ourselves and working on ourselves, and we are vulnerably sharing that on the internet, and then being able to do that and then also bring you here. I just feel like we're doing something for our audience, and I think that's just like super cool. And I know we make a lot of jokes, but it is so cool that like this podcast gives us a platform to like help people. And
Yeah, that's what I was kind of telling you when I actually just told you this the other day, that like I was doing an interview and the guy was asking me like what the moral is like at the end of Gin and Toxic and stuff, and I was like, I mean, sometimes it's literally just for entertainment.
Of course.
90% of the time it's for entertainment.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, like we are 20-something-year-olds in New York City. We're trying to navigate life. We have a lot of fun, work and play and everything. But like, we're going through shit, and it's like, it's a lot to navigate a life here and navigate your 20s. And, I think that, I truly believe in life coaching, obviously having one and having gone through it for 2 years. I believe in life coaching, therapy, all those things, and just in general being able to like talk about your emotions and talk about your mental health and getting back on track. I think it's pretty sick, and I think it's great that we're able to, like you were saying, it's a comedy podcast, but I like that we bring it back down to
a lot
earth.
of it is laughing about things that we are going through, and kind of it makes
I think people feel not so alone.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's going through stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's great what you guys are doing, because you're influencers, but it's not just about what you're wearing or your bodies. It's you're real people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's like the whole thing with Gin and Toxic is like talking about like the realness,
real shit.
Right.
I mean, we did an
shit.
episode that was called Sad Girl Era.
Yeah.
I thought nothing of it. It did so well.
And it was
people
literally
ate that shit, and we literally were having a mental breakdown on camera.
it was literally, we both, like, the whole episode, the whole premise of it was that we did not want to record. We were having like really shitty weeks. Like we were both just like upset and like just like not having a good time.
Which has been a lot of this year for us so far.
We've had some really heavy hitters this year. But
Yeah.
we were just like, we were just going through it that week, and so we were like, but we really need to record an episode. And then we were just like,
Let's tell 'em.
let's just record an episode, literally like complaining and talking about everything going wrong.
Yeah.
And then just to get it out, we did it more so as like a therapy session for ourselves to get it out.
Yeah.
And then we got it out, and everybody else listened to it, and there were so many like relatable things within that we talked about that people were going through, and it ended up being one of our best performing episodes, which is crazy.
Right, because people can relate.
Yeah,
And you're
exactly.
connecting with them.
Of course.
When you're vulnerable, you connect with people.
Exactly.
Obviously, we're going to recommend people trying life coaching, but I actually, before you go, want a quick opinion. I did therapy for a while before life coaching, and when I felt pretty settled with like my past and kind of where I'm at now mentally, then I started life coaching. Would you kind of recommend that to someone who, if like someone's dealing with a lot of past trauma, do you recommend they do therapy first and then life coaching, or jump right into life coaching?
Everyone's different, but I would say like try coaching first. And sometimes I've said to people, I think maybe, you need to talk to a psychiatrist or a therapist about trauma. But, I've worked with a lot of people, and like I said, I have to get history. So I always get people's background and find out, because someone could call me about relationship issues and then we go back to her and her mother, so there is some kind of history, but try it. I think coaching is just, it's a great process, because it really helps, because we all have stuff from our past and nobody has a perfect past.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that's holding you back, yes, we can talk about it, but the idea is to move forward. Everybody wants to move forward.
That's why I started life coaching. I was
exactly.
so stagnant for literally 2 years.
Right.
And I was exhausted of just staying in place. And then I started life coaching for my career, but then also moved me forward as an individual all in general with my relationships. So yeah, I completely agree. Yes. That's awesome.
So, I mean, I feel really great about this episode. Thank you
awesome.
so much for coming on. This was super random. I literally texted her in the middle of the night. I was like, hey, want to go on Jenna Toxic next week? So thank you for coming on and being so accommodating. I think that, I even relearned so many things during this episode, and I think that you gave just so much advice and wisdom to everybody listening. So, thank you for coming on. And I guess if anybody that's listening to this wants to find you, where can they find you on socials or the web or whatever?
The web.
Let's see.
The web.
Where can they find me? My Instagram.
Your Instagram.
She goes, Christina, where can they find me?
Christina.
You have my number. You can DM Christina.
DM me and I will give you the hookup.
My Instagram is Andrea_lifestyle_coach.
Yes.
My website is Andrea Lifestyle Coach Plus.
Yes.
I haven't looked at that in a long time.
I literally just went to it. I went to it last night for something.
Was it triggering?
I was like, oh my God, back to my roots.
Yeah.
I forget why I went to it. Why did I go to your website last night? I don't know. I went to go look at it to get something. Oh, you know what? This is so stupid. But I went on the website when I was making the Instagram post about you coming on. I was like, do I put life coach or do I put certified life coach? And I was like, she's certified, right? And then I was like, yeah, she is certified, but let me double check. So
funny.
I went to go double check that your website said certified.
You know, I think
So
if you Google Andrea Gross lifestyle coach,
you're the first. You're the first thing that comes up. Yeah,
Right.
You were one of the first things that came up when I typed in New York City life coach. But yeah, long story short, like we said, thank you so much for coming on. This was fantastic.
Yes, thank you so much. Out of your busy
Yeah.
schedule, this was everything.
Yeah, this was absolutely once again accommodating to our clients.
Yeah.
What else is new?
Once
again.
Thank you for having me. It was great.
Of course. Thank you, Andrea. That was tea.
That was awesome. She just left. That was an incredible episode. Yeah, she retaught me things that
I'm humbled once again.
Yeah. When she was she basically called me out when I was like, oh, you want what you can't have? And she was like, wrong. And
She goes, why can't you have it? She goes, why can't you have it?
And I was like,
oh, you're so true, bestie.
You're so valid. You're so valid, babe.
So valid.
So yeah, shout out to Andrea. That was absolutely amazing. She is incredible. And yeah, we will put her Instagram and stuff in the episode description so you guys could go check her out. But yeah, toxic confessions, baby. Okay, so this girl said, me and my sister signed her ex-boyfriend up for Scientology because he's a dick and he's done way more toxic things. You've heard of the Church of Scientology, obviously. Right? And all their fucked up practices.
Oh my God, yeah, it's so fucked. That's crazy.
That is...
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Okay, if you guys don't know about the Church of Scientology and that entire thing and how it's really screwed up, I really suggest you go and do your research. I know there's a great documentary out there about it.
I think it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. I forget, but yeah, if you don't know why this is such a bad thing, go do your research. Basically, they just have really screwed up they're like a cult. Basically, it's culty, but they cover it as calling themselves a religion. It's this whole thing.
I would have just signed him up for spam emails, but go off.
Yeah, right. Or
go
what
off.
was it? Wasn't it when we first started recording for Gin and Toxic, somebody said that they signed their ex-boyfriend up for Jehovah's Witness visits. Remember that?
Oh, no.
This is nuts, though.
That's really funny.
Scientology, girl.
That
TikTok artist you're crazy, girl.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, bye, guys. I gotta go eat.
We are fully, both of us are manspreading in two different ways.
I've been manspreading this entire episode.
I be manspreading.
I was thinking about that earlier, but you know what?
Oh my God.
Fuck it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Today was, I really like this episode. I think it's going to come out really great, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. So, yeah, but that's that. We're going to go eat Chick-fil-A now. So make sure to go and follow what you say. I got to tell the Instagram and the Twitter and the Snap. Not Snapchat.
Okay, bye.
You're like, shut up anyways. You're like, honestly, I'm so tired. I don't even want to go over it anyways. But anyways, go follow us at Gin Toxic Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and why do I want to say Snapchat? No, we don't have a Snapchat. Do not follow us on Snapchat.
And if any man ever asks you for your Snapchat, block him immediately.
Block him immediately. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Duh. Go follow us at Gin Toxic Podcast. Okay, we're going to go shove our faces with chicken. It's time to go. Goodbye.